So you want to create good marketing on your social media channels, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, but you don't have a budget for a graphic designer. So what do? Well, most small business owners use tools like Canva, and this video tutorial is going to show you how to create a marketing image in Canva. So you can see I've logged into my Canva account. If you don't have one yet, you just create one. It's free. I have got the paid Canva account, which has a few additional functionalities, including being able to have a brand kit. So I have brand logos that I can add. So these are some of the businesses that I've worked with. And then we can also set up brand palettes. So our Success Matters brand colors are those, business buzz, networking, this is the brand colors for those, and there's some client brand palettes I have as well. So you don't need the paid version in order to create good images on Canva. So if you start with the basic one, it's fine. The paid one's, I think it's £15 a month, so it's not a huge amount of money, but not all small businesses can afford that initially when they're starting up. As soon as you can afford to invest in tools like this, the better, because it makes your life easier, it saves you time and lots of benefits. So if I click on all my designs, you can see previous designs that I have created in Canva. I'm going to create a new one from scratch so that you can follow along with me, and press pause if you want while you're doing things. So first thing we do is create a design, and then it gives you the choices. So you can create custom dimensions if you know exactly what size you want, but Canva very cleverly creates ready-made dimensions that are perfect for different platforms. Now, the most important thing to know is that a Facebook post will not work well on Twitter, because Twitter only shows the middle cross section of a tweet. So you're better off creating the right dimensions for a Twitter post, but Facebook posts generally work okay on Instagram, or better the other way around. Instagram posts are square posts work okay on Facebook, but the Facebook posts are slightly not square, so the side bits will be chopped off on Instagram. Don't worry too much about that. At the moment, I'm going to create a Twitter post because I am creating this video for #SuccessHour to show people how to create an image. So you can see this is what happens. This is your canvas. This is where we're going to create the image. Up here is where we change the title. So creating images in Canva is what we could call it. However, this is also, when you download the file, it's going to create the file name. So I'm just going to call it that. I have a rule where I put the date on my file names backwards. It helps me keep everything organized. You don't have to do that, of course. So on our left hand side, we have our options here. So if you wanted to use a template that already existing, you can see there are lots of different templates here. So let's think about one that might be a good example. So you can see there are lots of different examples. You can also search templates for particular themes. So bubble bath, it was National Bubble Bath Day, so that was a theme. Now, you're not likely to get a specific template for bubble bath, for example, but you could, for example, if you wanted a motivational quote or template, you can put that in, and you can see here there's lots of templates with quotes that have inspiration, including images. So for now, I'm just going to choose this template. So I click on it, and you can see there it's free. So some of the templates are paid, and you pay usually a £1 each time you use the image when you download it. So the bonus of having your paid Canva account is that I can actually, when I'm searching, I can select for paid or free images, only free images, which helps me keep the budget down. So you can see here, I've just clicked on this lovely, cool image and I've dragged it around. You can also see that when I click on other images, there are at the top here, you can see the menu changes. So for this image, there are different things you can do. So let's, for example, let's move it around and let's say we want to create that as a bit of a background. So you can see at the moment it's blocking all the text. So if you wanted to move it to the back, you go up to the position here and then you can select backwards. Okay, so it's behind this group of text boxes here at the moment, but you can see, can't really see that text very well because it's all the same colours. Now, I'm going to use the colours from my own brand. So if I see what I did there, I clicked on the background and then I clicked on the background colour at the top, and I'm going to change that to my brand colours. Now, I'm going to click on this image and I'm going to change these also to not exactly my brown colours, but similar ones. So there we go. So there's only actually 2 colours on those. Now you can imagine that it still might be quite hard to see the text in front of these swirly painty lines. So what you can do is you can make background images transparent. You can make any images transparent. So let's just make that transparent for now. And you can see the colour from the background comes slightly through that image. You can see the text stands out. So if I click on the text, you can see actually this is a group of different text boxes. So if I click ungroup, I'll be able to position these text boxes wherever I like. Now, to edit the text, you simply double click inside it, and just like in a Word document, I'm going to delete that. And I'm going to say how to create a marketing image. And then I'm going to use this bit of text, add a bit more image for free in Canva. Now, the different options that you have for text are very similar to a Word document. So if I click on that text box and go up to the menu top here, I can center align it, left align it, right align it, and justify as well. So I'm going to go with center aligning these text boxes, and this one I'm going to use to say this is a success hour how to video tutorial. Okay, I didn't want that in red because that's definitely not a brand palette, so let's go with that and let's center that as well. So what I like to do when I've got text, when I know exactly what text I've got in a text box, is I make it smaller, the text box itself, so that it doesn't have a particularly lot of extra space around the side of the text. The reason I do this is, see, I've just clicked away from the text box so that I can drag it. If you notice, there's some lines that appear on the page as I'm moving it around. This shows you, so for example, this solid one in the middle shows you that that text box is perfectly aligned in the center. And the outside pink lines there on that border is showing you that if you were to put it there, it would create a balanced image. So balance is very important for design. If things are balanced, it feels much more professionally designed and it doesn't feel amateur. So even if you don't know how to design, Canva is helping you. So I'm going to drop that there. Now, I want to make my text larger. So there's 2 ways of doing it. I'm just going to drag and make the text box much, much bigger. There we go. And again, I'm going to center align it, and then I'm going to make the text box the same size as the text initially on this one. and then see the dot, it's the dot I need to be able to drag in the corner to make it bigger, and then center align that as well. Now, there's one thing I always do when I'm creating images for my own business, and that is I add my logo. So in Canva, I can go to my folders. Here is my Success Matters folder, and I've got different versions of my logo. So a couple of different taglines I use, but this is for Success Hour. So a business community run by business owners for business owners is a good logo tagline to use for this one. So I'm going to put that in the bottom left corner, and you can see the way that border alignment picks it up to show you whether it's balanced or not. So might want to make that a little bit smaller. Okay. The reason I put my logo on marketing images is to reinforce the brand, but also people tend to steal images online, even though they do not have the right. And any image you create, you own the legal copyright for, and nobody else has permission to use that without your consent. And you may choose to give the consent freely, or you may choose to request them to pay you for the privilege of using that image that you've created. So now you can see the text isn't particularly clear over this funky image we've got. So we could do a couple more tweaks. We could make it a little bit more transparent. I don't want to make it too transparent because you won't see it. It's just a nice shape of image. But what I often do is this. So I've clicked on that text box. I'm going to duplicate it. Going to change the color in that text. You can see you could hardly see it here. But when I put it over the top of the turquoise text, which is identical because we've just duplicated it, you can see there, and I'm going to use my left arrow key and my down arrow key. I'm going to hit that once for each, and you can see it's just slightly off aligned, but I want the darker text to be behind. So I go up to position and I move that backwards. Now, what that does is you can't see a significant difference there. So if I just click on that, I'm going to move the turquoise text again. So I'm going to move it right and then up instead of left and then down. You can see it's creating, let me move that in so it's bigger so you can see it more. See, it's created a drop shadow effect. So actually, I'm going to move that turquoise one down one. So what this does is it allows your text to be much more visible when you're putting text over an image. So I'm just going to move the background image out of the way a second, because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drag and highlight both of those text images, and then you can see the menu at the top now gives me a group one. So I'm going to group those. What that means is that both the shadow, under shadow, and the top one, when I move them now, you'll see they move together. Otherwise, you end up spending a lot of time moving both of the text boxes, and then you have to realign them. So when you group the text boxes, it makes it easier. Okay, so I'm just going to move this back so that you can see it all again. Same thing again, although what I might do with this one, okay, so move it down and then move it behind. Okay, same for this one. So just going to move that out to the side, and then you can see, select those, group, select those and group them, and then move this back. So I'm just going to check the alignment. So definitely want it in the center. Now I'm going to change that top color of that top text because I want that in my turquoise. And then What I might do is, I think because the rest of them are all center aligned, I might just pop that in there instead of being out on the left hand side. And the other thing is that I could probably make this a lot bigger. So, and let's just drag those. So you can see now, because I've grouped those two text boxes, when I drag and change the size, both of them change so that I have the drop shadow in there. And then let's just make that one slightly bigger as well and make sure it is center aligned as well. So there are lots of different elements that you could use in Canva. So let me just show you one of them that I use quite a lot, and that's a border. I quite like the neatness of adding a border around my images. So I'm just going to move it so that it is in the right place, and then I'm going to change the color of it. Okay, so we'll just make that turquoise. Now, if you've got a border like this and you go to click the text in the middle, there's a problem because you're clicking on the border element. So what you need to do when you've got a border is then put it to the back. And that way, when you click, you're clicking on the other elements in front of it. So, and if you want to work on just the border, you can click on the side, because when you click on the border at the side, that's the only thing you're clicking. But if you're clicking in the middle, you'll click on the text. So you can see that is how easy and quick it is to create a Canva image. Now, if I wasn't explaining everything that I was doing as I was going along, I would have created this in maybe 3 or 4 minutes. But this is the last section now, so we're going to hit download. And you can see there also in Canva, you can publish straight to your social media accounts. So when you connect your social media accounts, you can do that. Also, you can share. So you can add, for example, to your team. This, I think, is a paid version. So there are other people that sometimes work with me, and I might add those to a team, and then I can allow them to view or edit it. I'm going to download this file to my computer so that I can use it wherever I like, whenever I fancy it, and it's always going to be there on my hard drive, which I've backed up as well, because you always make a backup of your business assets, don't you? So you can see here, file type, you can download it as different file types: JPEG, PDF, standard size, or print resolution. You can also now in Canva create animations or videos using animated elements. I'll show you that in another video some other time perhaps. But the number one thing to remember is if there is a lot of text in your image, download it as a PNG. Otherwise, if there's lots of photos, lots of different gradually shaded gradients of colors or textures, use a JPEG. So PNG for text, JPEG for photos. So this has got a lot of text in it, so I'm going to save it as PNG. You can also make a transparent background, and you can compress the file if you wanted. Unless you specifically want a transparent background. So sometimes if I'm creating images, so you can see here featured images on the left, if I wanted to create an image which had a clear background that I could add to other images, like as a watermark, perhaps like a logo, I might make it as a transparent background. But for this, we don't need it. Just click download. Canva spends a moment just preparing the design, and then it will open a folder asking you where you want to save it. So if I just save it where I need it, just save it here for now, and then hit save. So the other thing that I actually sometimes do with the file names is I'll put in there a little code about what dimensions it is. So this is a Twitter post, so TWP tells me it's a Twitter post. If it was a header, I'd call it a Twitter header, so TWH, or Facebook FB header, or FBP for a post. Just means that when other people are trying to find the images, like I have a VA that schedules some social media content, she'll know whether it's a Twitter size dimension image or a Facebook post and which one she needs to schedule for that. So there you go, that is an image. So then you go to Twitter and you pop your image into Let's find the right folder. Here it is, how to create marketing image. So getting ready for tonight's success hour. Help if I spelled it right. Creating marketing images using Canva. And you can also, obviously with Twitter, it's a good idea to tag people if they're in it, which Success Matters is in it. So there we go. Ta-da! You have now finished your tutorial of how to create a marketing image in Canva. If you have any questions, do post them on the video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and you'll see the other videos, how-to videos that I post as well. Happy image creation!